Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to LRGA Curves. Thank you for coming to LRGA Curves today. Make sure you smash the like button, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell. Maybe that's how you found out I was on right now. It's because you rung that bell so you can get notified when I upload a video. Or when I go live, like right now, because I wasn't planning on going live. This is an impromptu live, you guys, because we have stuff to talk about. I already had planned on going live at 8:30 about Summer House Martha's Vineyard. However, in my getting everything together for it, I was trying to get the markers on the two audios I wanted us to hear, and so we could hear about the behind the scenes drama after the season wrapped. And do you know, I found out that Summer House is paused? You guys, that's very, very, very troubling to me. It's on pause. Why would it be on pause? As somebody said, we have 68 shows about a boat, about yachting, about a boat, about forms of a boat. We have 2311 shows about real estate, selling real estate. We have 1911 shows about dating and stuff like that, right? So, how is it? Why is it? Where is it that they would ever think that they need to cancel or pause is the word they used. Okay, I'll use the word they used. They used the word pause, so we're going to talk about that. That's why I was a little late, because I was reading over that and making sure it was real. And so I have several sources that did, in fact, cite that Martha's Vineyard Summer House is officially on pause. Not canceled, but on a pause. And I'm just wondering why about that. But we will also still talk about the behind the scenes stuff that I found out that you probably also know, but maybe don't know. And if you don't know, then I'm going to be the one to tell you. So, again, thanks for coming through to LRGA Curves today. Can you believe they're on pause? Is anybody in here? Are there any comments yet? No. Can somebody tell me, oh my God, do you believe they paused it? It's only been 2 seasons. And I'm going to pull up a visual. Let me pull up this picture real quick. I'm not going to be on here long. Let me pull up this picture real quick. MV ratings is the picture. Let's get that open. Double click. Double click. Let's présente. Présentez-vous. Comment allez-vous? Can you guys see this? So these are the ratings for shows that are still on. And so we don't think it's a ratings thing. Could it possibly be? Because the ratings for Martha's Vineyard, which is right here. So right now it's May 28th. And so episode 9, May 19th, at 2:57, over a quarter million viewers. Key demographic. And well over almost 200,000 in the demographic the episode before that. Okay. Now, Southern Hospitality is still on. It's not on a pause. And their numbers are right at 250,000 in both cases. Season 2, comparable episodes. And they're not on a pause. So, yeah. So that's what, thanks for being here, Giovanna Yvette, Red Eagle, right on. Yeah, that's what they're saying, but these are the Martha Vineyard ratings, and they're higher than other shows that are not on pause. So is it the ratings? Is it the ratings when the ratings are higher? I'm actually glad you brought that up because I was just showing us that the ratings for Southern Hospitality, 268, so right about a quarter of a million, and then right at 250,000, season 2, episode 10. Oh, so I'm not sure. Let's see. So as far as behind the scenes stuff, there came out what the cast thought about Natalie, of course. And also, when Summer went home, let me put this picture up instead. Let's see this. Because I'm putting this picture up because this is the tea that I heard that I was like, oh, let's bring this out. Let's open that one. Right on. Okay. Playing in our faces. You see that? I showed you. They're playing in our faces. So behind the scenes, Noel did an interview with Kempire, an impromptu interview last night on his Instagram that he posted on his YouTube. And we're going to listen to a snippet of that. And then we're going to listen to also when Preston went over to Carlos King's channel about 12 days ago now and was saying what he said. Now, I haven't found the evidence that Alex and Noel smashed, and she did not say they smashed in this interview last night. So I'm glad actually to hear that she did not smash. But also the static that we saw between Noel and Autumn, as they like to call her, because her alter ego is Autumn for Summer. They called her Autumn. Did you notice that when Alex called her Autumn? That was hilarious. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. But I can't believe they put the show on pause. And we just showed that it's not a numbers thing because the actual numbers were comparable. Yep. The numbers were higher, of course. Black excellence. We always go above and beyond, don't we? So the numbers were actually, the viewership numbers were higher for Martha's Vineyard than they are currently for Southern Hospitality, a similar style show. They're not comparing it to Summer House. And I have no idea why they would be playing in our freaking faces like that. If anyone can tell me, please let me know. Now, let's go ahead and listen to Summer. Well, the reason that Summer left be divulged. When you were watching this season of Martha's Vineyard, did you think to yourself, Summer just pushed Noelle, announced she pushed Noelle, and she didn't get escorted out of the house like they did Mariah? Did you notice that? Did anybody else think that? And then, did anybody else think it was interesting that Summer finally seemingly removed herself from the house on like day 13 of 15? She was just like, I have things going on. I'm going to go home. I should have stayed home and shouldn't have brought all my troubles here. And I just feel so bad. I'm going to go home. And I thought that was kind of strange. And then when they were at the reunion, when we talked about it here on LRGA Curves, I mentioned how interesting it was that there was, like, it was so choppy. It just seemed like context was missing. And I said that we needed 20-second bites prior to and exactly at following everything on the reunion, because it was so freaking choppy. I'm positive like even 20 seconds would have made a huge difference, you know? Even if they would have had to add another episode, just having that 20 extra seconds before and after for context so it didn't look so choppy. Come to find out from Noelle in an interview she did impromptu last night with Kim Pyre. Shout out to Kim Pyre. Summer showed her entire ass so much, you guys, that they had another house meeting. They had several house meetings we didn't see. We saw one. They had several house meetings that we did not see, including the house meeting where Autumn was asked to get out because Noelle basically said that if she was unable to meet Autumn where she was coming to her from, basically return the favor in kind, you push me, I'm pushing you back. And they're telling Noelle, no, you can't push her. You have to just take it. So she's like, well, if I have to just take it, then I don't feel safe because I can't defend myself. So I don't want to be around her. And based off of also the interaction with other people in the house, including, I think, Bria, Summer was asked to leave, you guys. Isn't that interesting that we didn't see that? Isn't that interesting? I'm just like, why didn't we see that? So here, I'm going to show us these numbers one more time. Share the screen. Window, share. Okay, so here are the numbers. This is Summer House Martha's Vineyard, with where it says right here, Summer House MV. And this is Southern Hospitality. And these are the ratings for season 2, episode 8, May 12th, 2024. 290,000 viewers, so well over 250,000, almost 300,000. Then we have season 2, episode 9 on May 19th, 2024. Well over 250,000 at 272,000 viewers. Okay. So that's well over, if you were rounding, you would have rounded that up to 300,000. Okay. So then we come over here to Southern Hospitality, and we have season 2, episode 9, February 8th, 2024. And they had 268,000 viewers. Then we have season 2, episode 10. Season 2, episode 10, February 15th, 2024, 257,000. So right around 250,000. So those aren't bad numbers. So it cannot be the ratings. We've established that, okay? Numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. Okie dokie. So now let's listen to the most recent behind the scenes news with Kempire and Noelle, fan favorite this season, where she tells us what was going on with Summer, I believe is where we're picking up.
Do that, then that's going to help the situation. But
yeah, because you worked my nerve. I was like, no, I was talking to the television. I was like, no, well, leave her alone. You're not going to have any sort of sensible conversation right now.
It sucks, but listen, Kim, I just thought that you girls, listen, because Bree was telling me how she felt about Summer. Summer was confiding in me how she felt about Bria.
What did
I'm
Bria
like, I'm too drunk to be, what you say?
What did Bria say?
Bria felt like that Summer was being fake towards her because there were certain events going on that she felt like she was constantly being left out of the loop with, similar to Jasmine with the Jamaica trip. There were certain things that Bria was like, well, y'all are leaving me out of things, and every time I bring it up, y'all brush me off and say, y'all didn't invite me, so actually I do feel away. And I never spoke to you, but every time I do speak to you, there is a weird animosity, and when I'm trying to tell you of how I feel, we're drinking, everybody's arguing, other people are joining into the conversation. Bria, I wish she told me that. I feel like I didn't really tell her how I really felt prior to the vacation. With the not being invited to the same events.
Okay. So Bria was also feeling alienated by the trip.
Exactly. And she already had her own conversations with Jordan, with Shanice. So that was handled, but she never had her conversation with Summer. So when you see them bickering at the Freak Week pool thing, it was one of those things where it's like, y'all both clearly feel some type of way. And I know I'm drunk as hell. But maybe if I try to be Dr. Phil and sit y'all both down where you say how you feel, she say how she feel, and we're all drunk, we're not going to hide it. We're just going to tell each other how we feel, and then we're going to really get to moving. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. But in my head, I promise you, it sounded amazing. It sounded amazing. But I'm wrong.
That happened before Freak Week. What happens between then and now in regards to Summer?
Yeah, so as you see where Summer ends up leaving, there were house meetings, there were conversations that went on where Summer started to say that I didn't push her and that I provoked her. And so I got confused. At that point, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I'm done with this. It is what it is. I can be cordial with her, but I'm going to show up as a cast member when we have to do things, but I'm not trying to explore it anymore because they have you on camera pushing. I was wrong. I should have respected your boundaries. But why are you lying saying I was an aggressor? Also, too, why why are you trying to say that nothing happened? And then when I'm trying to validate my opinion, especially when I bring in examples of the whole Mariah situation, then y'all telling me I can't say that. Then y'all telling me, well, if people spoke on Summer's character towards them in the house and said that she's never showed that type of, she's never displayed that type of action towards them. So because she's never did that towards them, then because that's happening to me, my sentiments are less. And I honestly got mad because I'm like, listen, I know that it's good to protect people, but we have to hold people's feet to the fire. And I'm gonna admit to where I get wrong, but I can't allow her to keep crying and saying that she didn't need to do it, then double down on her stance of that she did it, then the next morning say, oh, I didn't do it. Noelle was actually the aggressor. She pushed me, but it's like, we were on camera, like we literally had to break fourth wall at one point because they were like, they got it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So there were house meetings that we did not see on camera.
Yes.
Is that what led to Summer leaving?
Yes. Well, I would say, I don't want to speak too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was the vote on, based off of her actions, how did she make you feel in the house, and speak on that. And I voted my case. And I said, listen, if this person is doing things twice, where they put their hands on people, because she also put her hands on Shanice, but they didn't show that.
That was the thing.
At Freaknik, at Freaknik, she put her hands on Shanice too, outside. Yes, and so I said, listen, if I can't get my pushback from her, whether it's a tap or whatnot, then I go and okay, I don't want this. Because it's just like, I don't feel like it's fair. I feel like we're setting a standard that it's okay for certain people to push people, but yet when other people do it, we talk bad about them and demonize them. Even though there are other things happening with other castmates that, the public's not privy to, which I respect. But I'm like, in Summer's case, I want to. If I could push her, not cool with her being in the house. The network said, "Girl, you cannot put your hands on her. You put your hands on her, you gonna go too." I said, I feel the type of way. I feel the type of way because it would be cool. Because I ain't gonna lie, if Summer would have just acknowledged what she did and left it at that, and didn't try to double down on her stance the following days, saying that it was more so Noelle, that I didn't push her, that they provoked me, they cornered me. I would have been cool with her staying in the house. Because it's like, girl, shit happened. We was drunk. So let's just try to blame the liquor. But if you apologize to me the following day, then the next day you take back your apology and then you talk around the house saying that I was an aggressor and that you did me a favor, I'm gonna only feel some type of way because listen, Kim, we in the same house. So, and I know people play telephone, but people were talking shit.
Yeah. So that's part of the reason why when Jasmine texted you that, Summer's leaving, you want to say goodbye. Well, it makes more sense now when you explain it.
Because it's just like, what are we gonna say? Like, I've already said that I don't mind being cordial with you post filming. I don't mind showing up as a castmate. But when they asked, would you go out to dinner with her one-on-one? I said no. And I said, I'm not trying to write her off altogether because I'm a believer of grace. Because baby, I ain't perfect. However, I would rather get to know her again outside of this environment. Because it's just a lot. And when I try to let my guard down and say she was just drinking, she was just going through a lot. It was just it's like I turn around to
So that is really what happened behind the scenes. And as a viewer, when that happened on the show and Summer left kind of abruptly after being allowed to have all these several meltdowns, which is fine. I mean, they were trying to be there for their friend, I guess. But it took her to push two people before they decided she had to leave. Mariah thrust the belongings of Milo into the arm and bosom of Bria and was immediately absconded away with in the middle of the night, never to be seen or heard from again. And this season had to get grovelly in order to be seen on our screens and welcome back into the fold. And Summer, for some reason, was allowed to run amok. And I'm just like, I'm not sure why. But even Noelle just said that one of the things she would do different is check a bitch sooner. So I'm with that. Definitely. Note to self, check a bitch sooner than later. Because you do set the precedent for how people treat you, right? And if you take a little bit of disrespect once, then you'll have a hard time reining it in once it begins. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely check a bitch sooner. So I'm glad that Noelle said that. Now she did also talk about Bria and Simon. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
He says things that I feel like she says it to where it will benefit her at the time. Because everything she says is not a lie. Because honestly, with even like the whole Alex situation, I said I can understand how bad that looks. Like if you stop texting me and
Just a
you're
second.
involved, I can of course come across as form. But also too, you're married, you know, had a baby, and of course.
What was it like sharing?
I know he's like, and even how other people related to that. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can understand how that's can be weird, but we talked about it. Like, it's not like that. We're good. And they're like, oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, that's totally fine.
So wait, before I forget to even ask this question, have you? Clearly you've spoken to your roommate about what played out during the season.
Oh, you guys, I forgot to tell you. Wait, my screen went blank, so I was having a technical thing. Here we go. Can you guys hear me now? Let me pause this. But you guys, oh my God. Oh my God. You guys, guess what? So, remember how we all saw Summer be so vague to Noelle specifically about the smashing she did with Alex, and she made it seem as though she told Noelle, but Noelle didn't listen and actively pursued him. And Noelle was like, I did not. Like, you never told me you did anything with him. And Summer waited until the cameras got on for her to be like, yes, I did. I told you. And so basically, Noelle's calling Summer a liar. And Noelle has a roommate in New York in real life. Who is Noelle's roommate to Autumn, also known as Summer? Who is he? That was one of her people she was dating in New York is Noelle's roommate. That's how she even met Noelle, for her to come on the show. You guys, it's a troubled web we weave when at first you do deceive. So Noelle figures that the reason Summer lied to her specifically about smashing Alex, while everybody else in the group was well aware of her smashing Alex. And that's why they were looking at Noelle like, girl, like, you're really going to do this, huh? Like, this girl brought you in here and you really going to go smash her dude, the guy she was smashing last week. And to Noelle, she's like, well, she told me they just hung out. And come to find out, she had smashed Alex at the same time she was the boyfriend, girlfriend, dating seriously on a regular basis, Noelle's roommate. You guys. So autumn summer is interesting because that makes it even more creepy that autumn summer would lead with, oh, you're going to be this way with somebody you've been inside. You're not going to invite them to your party and you've been inside of them. But he was inside of you when you were with Noelle's roommate, which is why you lied to Noelle about smashing Alex in the first place. It's just all kind of weird. It's all kind of tic-tac-toe weird. So that was an interesting little tidbit of information that came out.
For example, at the premiere party, they said, hey, invite each other.
You was there?
So, oh yeah, and that he came to the premiere party.
At the premiere party, they did say, hey, invite, but there was also some tension. You know, I don't want to look too much on their businesses, but
everyone say bring the roommate next.
Yeah, they very much
almost summer comes.
Yeah, they very much spoke to each other. So, you know, I'm thinking that things are decent. I don't know if they're as close as they used to be. I would say that. I think that, you know, both of them have now probably gone into different directions, but I don't think it's hate on their part from each other.
Okay, so that was a little more of it.
And I've heard from people.
And oh, bonjour, mon ami, bonjour. You're waking up. I'm glad you could come. They put our show on pause. The Martha's Vineyard Summers House is on pause. Yes. Oh, 6:22. It's 9:22 p.m. out here. Yes. But it's interesting, the shows that go on pause, right? I mean, that's another thing. Let's see. Okay, so now we're going to listen to what, who said? Preston said about Natalie. Yeah, they're doing, but it's only the second season, and the numbers, Sarah, are higher than other shows that are currently on for longer or the same amount of time that are not on pause and not as interesting because they don't get as good a ratings. Okay, now I'm looking also for... Okay, here we go. Now, we really wanted to know what happened with the whole Tasia. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Sarah, why they want to let more happening in real life to have the show, right? Right? The numbers were better. Here, I showed the numbers a second ago, that the numbers were almost 300,000. Whereas the numbers for Southern Hospitality are lower, much lower, right around 200, right around 250,000. So, yeah. Let's see. So here, we're going to listen to this real quick because I want you guys to hear what really happened and why Natalie is a culprit in all of this, and how her not taking any accountability is even an issue for the people that were on the show and not just us as viewers who happen to see that. So
we've hung out. If that was me, I would want it was something. And first of all, that you should tell me.
Okay, here we go.
So I'm just thinking like, okay, yeah, you're cool. You know, we have fun, take shots. You know, you're giving our full energy.
So, how did you feel after watching it back versus filming with her?
I was honestly, point, everybody bring in a friend, and let's see where we can go from there. Because I didn't realize how much of a difference it made when you do bring in outside people. So, like, for example, the 3-day weekend that we had all the guests, it really created a different vibe. Like, we were having fun, but the additional people did make it feel more like, wow, let's do this again. Let's bring some more people. Let that be on your own. Like, do not include us. Because I take full responsibility of gossiping about Nick, with that whole situation. However, we doubled down on our stance of not saying anything to Tasia because we knew it wasn't our place.
Oh, sorry, you guys.
Also, I saw what happened to Tasia last year. So, I mean, I don't want to be that person because I know how it feels when somebody comes to us. I don't want to be that person to do that. It wasn't my place where I felt like, he did anything inappropriate to me. I might not agree with it if that was my boyfriend, but I didn't think that it was something, first of all, that we should tell her on national television, that in the end, it's still like, even if they break up, stay together, it's embarrassing. So I'm like, let's not do this. And if you're going to go say that, let that be on your own. Like, do not include us. Because she said that, which I thought was interesting, she actually gave examples of things that she saw me do that she didn't agree with. And how she said that was a mirror. I wouldn't want him to do this. And so we're like, wow, we didn't see all of this. Like, we might have heard certain things, but we didn't know that you knew more to the context of, because mind you, she just got here 2 days ago. So we're like, you know a lot about what happened in the house. You know stuff about from Decades Night. You know stuff about us going to the party, randomly with the Vineyard people. Like, how do you know this? But, you're wrong. I'm thinking like, well, she's just in the know. Which is gossip. Nothing of it instead of it actually playing out to where, I don't know, it kind of felt like her and Amir conspired to tell Tasia something and watch us take the blame for it, knowing that our intentions were never that, and that you added on harsh allegations that, like, it's one thing to say a man is being flirty, but groping, pansy, sexual harassment, like, that is damaging, and I would be damned if I'm trying to do that, to anybody, especially on national television. No.
Here's the thing. When she said to you guys that I'm going to go to Tasia with this, what did you guys say to her?
We told her no. And everybody went around the group. Rhea, she doubled down on why she doesn't think she should say anything. But she was like, last year I was the one to say something. And, it didn't come across well. I looked messy. I'm not doing this again. Shanice was like, yeah, I don't agree. I said, I don't agree either. She was like, but you said stuff about, with the hand thing. I said, I know I might have said that, but I was giving an example. I don't think you should speak on behalf of me and my experience and tell Tasia that I feel this way, because I don't. I might not agree with it, but I don't think he was doing anything malicious. And she was like, well, I saw something I don't like, and because Tasia's my friend, we've hung out. If that was me, I would want y'all to tell me. And I said, okay, but first of all, that's not true. Second of all, it's different. And even then, I hate to say this, but I don't know if I would go out my way to tell you something so messy. I'm sorry. Like, unless it's something where it's hard on cheating allegations, but even, and I have proof. My picture, I don't think that's enough to really go and tell somebody's, significant other, hey, your boyfriend took a picture with me like this. I don't agree. I think he's doing something. No. And even then, we didn't even know that Jordan and Summer already had their conversation with me. We just thought it was like oh yeah, Nikki's kind of flirty. Who doesn't, we joke around like that. It's nothing serious, but yeah.
So you guys told her you wanted no involvement.
Yeah.
So you knew that she was still going to go to Tasia.
No, I didn't know that she was going to Tasia with it until we were at the table at, I think, the sandbar place where we went after biking, and I saw her get up and walk over there to Tasia. And I'm like, I know she's not saying something to Tasia. So when she comes back, I was like, what did you say to Tasia? She was like, I didn't say anything. I said, what did you say to Tasia, Natalie? Because you went and said something to her. She was like, well, I told her I wanted to talk, but she told me that she couldn't talk right now because she's getting ready to go, and that if it's something about Nick, she doesn't want to hear about it. I said, okay, so you're not going to say anything to her because we told you not to say something to her, and if you are, don't include us. She was like, yes, that's it. Like, I tried, it didn't work, I'm done with it. So to see everything play out where, first of all, she still never said anything to Tasia, but how it was told to us in the kitchen, it was told to us that Tasia knows, Natalie told her this, you all are telling, accusing Nick of doing this, and basically, you know, they're on the verge of breaking up, and yeah.
Hey, Krista.
Defame this man off of things that y'all said when there's no proof.
Thanks for coming.
You know,
and Sarah and Be Wise.
Yeah. Do you think? In your experience, because we do know sometimes producers behind the scenes will push people to ask this question. Do you think that happened, or did you witness that happen with Natalie, or do you think Natalie did this all on her own?
I think Natalie did have help from her significant other. I'm not gonna lie. Let's be for real. Let's be for real, because there were things where I'm just like, you couldn't have known that.
Well, smash the like button before you leave, beautiful.
The closest person to her in the house was like where they talk on the phone, they text. To your question about, I think what you talked about in the kitchen, I confronted that. I don't know, don't know why it might have not been shown, just because whatever. But I did let her know, like, say what you said. Like, tell him what you told us. No, tell us what you told him, and then repeat to us what you said you were not going to say.
Yeah.
And at that moment, it was like mute. She started crying. And at that point, I was like, I'm done with this, because I'm sorry. I'm like, this man might not trying to, I'm like, I already see that. I hope that it's not trying to shift this narrative that Noelle's coming down. She's yelling and she's attacking this person and she's crying. So after that, I honestly checked out, because I'm like, I'm telling her to speak up. She's not speaking up. People are saying, why are you yelling at her? And I'm like, no, I'm mad because I know what I said. I admit that I was talking shit. However, I was not accusing him of what you told him in Tasia. So why are you trying to act oblivious and be quiet like you didn't have no hand in it? Like, if I'm going to raise my hand to being involved, you got to raise your hand for carrying the bomb. Because if the bomb was never carried, let's be for real, there might have been telephone like, oh, Noelle and Bria, she's gossiping. But in my opinion, I honestly don't believe it would have went to the extent that it did. And I hate that happened.
Yeah.
Well, so that was an earful. Yes. Do you believe it? Because as a viewer, just from what I saw, I was like, now Natalie did not have their permission to go tell. And her saying, I'm going to go tell, doesn't mean that they were like, oh yeah, go tell. And them not being able to stop her from telling doesn't mean they said go tell. And that's totally what it was edited to look like and what it seemed Amir thought also, and Natalie played into. So, yeah. Lots of interesting things were revealed. Now, they were talking also about who is the clout chaser. Who is the clout chaser? And do you know who they said is the clout chaser? What's good, Couture Bay? Who is the clout chaser? Well, basically, Natalie is the clout chaser, according to I think it's right here.
And I think it's so funny how they were, it was being brought up as if Simon was trying to be on the show when it was actually
Natalie?
Yes, it was Natalie. In my opinion, that I felt like I would consider trying to do that show.
Yeah.
Because one thing about Simon, he was trying to get us to drink, cheer him on in his flamingo outfit, but he wasn't carrying on us. He wasn't. And even when we would be talking, gossiping, people like, okay, can y'all, like, come on, y'all need to do something else. So if he was, trying to be a bone collector, then yes, I would say, like, Bria, hey, double check to see if he's genuine. But from what I've seen Simon when I've been around Bria, he's been nothing but genuine. He is crazy. He is turned. But he's never gave, in my opinion, from what I saw that he was trying to be on the show, it just reminds me of, like, those frat white boys where if they got a crowd, they gonna have fun and turn up regardless. Okay. And that's what he gave.
Okay. All right. So it's really the guys that were concerned.
Yeah, and I think, of course, anything could be seen as being messy. When somebody's asking about things that you're like, do you really care about my relationship? But when it was talked to us outside of Bria, it was like, no, we're just asking because we care. Like, we just want to know, like, hey, is he really here for her? Or could this be something more of, an adventure for him?
All right. So if you do come into a season 3,
mm-hmm.
is what exactly what would be the way that you would come in versus the way that you came in season 2?
Yeah.
Based on what you've learned.
Actually, I do think about that a lot. To be honest, I still want to be my vulnerable self because despite, the flag that might have came from it, I didn't realize how rewarding it would be for me and even how other people related to that. So I would still want to be my genuine self. I would want to lessen the serious conversations more because we did have fun, y'all. Like, despite us, being dramatic, tears, cursing each other out, being drunk, we did have fun. And we, wish that was shown more as well. But for me, I say going into next year, still being vulnerable, honestly, lessening the serious
So that was the clout chasing statement. Don't want to go too far. Shout out to Kempire. Everybody go check out Kempire. Yes, the show is officially on pause. Let's see. Here's the statement thingamabob. Bravo hits pause on Summer House. Oh, let me make this so everybody can see it. Let's put it like that. Bravo hits pause on Summer House, Martha's Vineyard after 2 seasons. Bravo has paused Summer House, Martha's Vineyard after 2 seasons. Deadline has learned. The reality series has not been canceled, but a 3rd season has not been greenlit for this year after 2 consecutive years. Summer House Martha's Vineyard wrapped its 2nd season May 26 after a reunion special hosted by Andy Cohen. The cast fought to have a reunion after its 2nd year as they had many things to resolve. And then the comment is, hey, at Bravo, why is it that all of your BIPOC-centered shows that aren't housewives get canceled or put on pause? We have 68 versions of white boat shows, and we're hiring back people that were fired for racist behavior. Get the fuck out of here. Excuse the French. You're gonna piss me off. I agree with that statement. And here are the ratings. Oh, wait, where'd they go? Okay. Why won't that? It must have already disappeared for that one. But I have it in another window. Okay, now let's listen to Preston real quick. Talk to Carlos King also about Natalie. Let's see. Let me know if you can hear this.
Trying to get me in trouble.
I gotta sit before I talk about Amir's girl. Hey guys, I'm giving y'all some advice for season 3 time. So if you ain't paying attention, pay attention. Okay. So moving on to that, I want to talk about Amir's girlfriend.
I knew it. Trying to get me in trouble.
I gotta sit before I talk about Amir's girlfriend, who appears that she, the word on the street in DC on Giselle Bryant's Boulevard, people are saying on Twitter that Amir's girlfriend clearly likes black men, but they don't know if she knows how to form friendships with black women. A lot of things we've been seeing with her that appears to be a little interesting about her behavior and comments. What are your thoughts on her?
Shady. You know, I really can't speak because I really don't know her well. So I think that may have been my third time meeting her. So I can't really speak to her politics or anything like that, just who she is. I can be honest because my thing is I study culture, gender, and sexuality, like race, gender, and sexuality. So even watching it back, I cringed on quite a few moments. There were just some moments that I hated to watch, honestly. And Candace and I did an Instagram live about this because, you know, a lot of viewers kept commenting, and it's clear that they had some feelings. And I know folks get really frustrated with people using the word microaggressions, but if you black, you hang around black folks, and you have some interaction with white folks, you know what it is, right? Like, if there's the white person touching the black person's hair, if there are particular comments like that, if there's, you know, there are just certain things that, my God, please not getting the camera. There are just certain things that you just know to tread lightly on if you do hang around black folks or have hung around black folks. And I didn't see that come up, but I didn't see it handled with care. And, you know, I imagine she's not doing well, like we're seeing some of the comments. There's been a lot of comments. I've stumbled on it myself. But I really do, and I'm not even saying this, but I really do hope there's a pause for introspection. Like, everybody ain't lying on you, and there has to be, like, something where you're like, man, I messed up. Like, there's something I did that triggered people. There's things I didn't even know I was doing wrong. And I want people to get there.
Have you heard from Amir about how he's been feeling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What he's thinking about his girlfriend?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think he just doesn't understand, really. And I'm trying to, like, talk to him about why, like, what is going on. You know, because Amir has admitted from last season especially, he's admitted that he doesn't really have, like, a lot of black friends in Texas, etc. So there are things naturally I figured he wouldn't understand. Like, my life is black folks all the time, right? Like, so, like, I get that there are some things naturally. We grew up differently. I grew up in all black environments, you know, etc. But so I can spot it instantly. Things that I know he may kind of struggle spotting through. So I'm not trying to, like, hold his hand through it, but I have to, like, respect that he's like, I actually don't know what's happening. And I'm like, y'all messed up, and here's why. It's like, friend to friend, I have to tell you, like, this is what's going on, and this is, you should address it and not be so defensive. Here's how you take steps to address it.
That's what I love about the show, too, because I feel like one thing you guys do well is you hold each other accountable and try to explain the situation, and you guys.
So I thought that was a really interesting conversation for Preston to say as somebody in the house what many people who were viewing the show also felt was like the stroking of the hair that Natalie did to Tasia while trying to deliver as dirt. I'm doing air quotes. Her intention was to deliver dirt while she stroked this lady's hair. And after all of her microaggressions throughout the visit leading up to that, where she didn't really interact with any of the ladies on the trip. And then her first interaction was to take their private comments and run back and create mess and then throw them under the bus after they specifically were like, for one, don't say what we just talked about. And for two, definitely don't put us in that shit if you do decide to bring up some stuff that you're now saying that you saw him do. So I thought that was really interesting. I'm not sure what they're going for, Sarah. I do believe everything she said. This is the second time that Amir has caused problems for ladies and kept his hands clean. Yeah, him and his girlfriend. I'm telling you, when they get married, there's going to be on the mute challenge because they don't take any accountability. I don't know how that's going to work in a marriage. Neither one of them take accountability. They are more Gen Z, and Bravo is craving the Gen Z viewers. Hey, they can have them because people who are not Gen Z, I guess, do some type of thoughts that are conflicted when fed this BS. You know, like we definitely saw what we saw. And then some people feel like, that Black people were being racist towards Natalie. How do you guys feel about that? Do you guys feel like Black people's comments about Natalie, like somebody called her, and I'm not being racist, this is what somebody called her in the comments, and then my friend told me this specifically is a very racist comment where they called Natalie Karen Lopez. That's not her name. Her name is like Natalie Cortez, I think. And so, they were just using any insert Latin name here with Karen, the lady who fake calls the police on Black people usually. Yeah. So, and we had a really super long discussion about it, but I would love to know your guys' thoughts about it. The cast is more active on social media. Yes, I like that. Amir and his girl need to grow up completely, Krista. Why is it on pause? I don't know. Here, I'm going to show us the numbers. Oh, wait. Let me stop this screen share. Open the numbers so we can look again at the numbers, you guys. Because the numbers don't lie. And there is obviously good drama happening. Obviously good drama is happening. If people are being asked to leave and asked to come back, I mean, there's some type of reconciliation allowed. There's growth allowed. I mean, nobody in this cast is falling completely on their face that we've seen. While drunk, I appreciate that. I appreciate a person that can hold their liquor. Okay, let's look at this real quick because we're going to get out of here. Didn't want to keep us long, but yeah, when I was coming on, I was like, darn, what do you mean it's on pause? What do you freaking mean? So the numbers for Martha's Vineyard, remove this real quick. Season 2, episode 8, 290,000. Season 2, episode 9, 272,000. The show is now on pause. Summer's House, Martha's Vineyard. Then we have Southern Hospitality. Season 2, episode 9, 268,000 viewers. Season 2, episode 10, 257,000 viewers. The show is not on pause. So it's not a numbers thing. I do know that some of the cast for I don't think they've done anything any worse than any other shows. I don't know why they're on pause. They had, even if they would have brought all the same people back, it could have worked again. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if somebody would be able to tell me what's going on. Yep, nope, it's not cool. New Jersey has awful ratings right now, right? Hey, we can speculate, we can imagine, but we won't know because they won't tell us. I don't know that I haven't heard any rumblings of lawsuits for Summer House Martha's Vineyard at all. This is facts. Now, Real Housewives of New Jersey has a lot going on, and they'll never put that on pause. And they have a gajillion lawsuits in behind the scenes over in New Jersey. So I don't think that could be the reason. The only reason isn't good for ratings or lawsuits. Yeah, but hey, New Jersey has lawsuits and the shenanigans aren't good for ratings right now. So we'll see if it translates over there. As far as lawsuits, though, New Jersey is riddled with lawsuits right now. Riddled. Allegedly, for that kind of decision and change the show, it's not good rating and lawsuits. Yeah, that's what you're saying, but the numbers don't lie. Martha's Vineyard is just like most situations where we're excelling. Very much so. And the numbers don't lie. 290 versus 268. I haven't heard of any lawsuits. I'm not sure why. What's that? Very bad decision to put it on pause. Preston for president. I don't know. Preston, I need to figure something out. Why is Preston mad at Jasmine? That's what I need to figure out. Sebastian, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. The show ended up getting put on pause.
Well, I think it's a good thing that it's being put on pause because there was too much problematic stuff that I saw on Twitter regarding this show. Too much problematic stuff.
So an entire cast shouldn't work because people on Twitter are doing something?
Well,
so
other shows have been put on pause because of Twitter and people doing shit.
What show? Tell me.
Family Karma.
Right. Family Karma was put on pause because of that. There was another show. There was a housewife show that was put on pause because of that too.
Dallas.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Vanderpump Rules is now on pause too.
Vanderpump Rules. Well, I don't think Vanderpump Rules is going to be back.
So what has happened in the social media? Hello, Emmanuel. What has happened in the social media that the participants of the show have been involved in the situations you guys just mentioned? Was it some kind of cast interaction? Or was it all because of hate on social media against the cast? What was...
okay, I'm going to be totally honest. When I saw the headline, I was shocked because I've seen, because I'm on Twitter, I've seen a lot of people watching Martha's Vineyard Summer House. So it is a little shocking, but I think it's crazy that you guys were so worried about, y'all didn't want to see Natalie. Now you're not going to see the show at all.
Yeah, well, here are the numbers, and they're higher than Southern Hospitality that is not canceled or on pause. And the numbers are much higher because it's a great show, but for some reason it's on pause. I feel like if you're going to punish a show for what strangers do, that's absurd. Because I'm sure like the people, but if it's because the people on the show are engaging in that, then that might need to get looked at. But if Twitter is just going crazy saying Natalie doesn't need to be on the show, you're telling me that all these people shouldn't have a job because of that backlash that she received for her actions?
It's not just the backlash she received from her actions, also the racism she received from her actions. Yes, there was a lot of racism from she received. Also the hate that both of them received. Amir too has been.
Amir, I will say Amir got a lot of hate. People were talking him. They're like, "Oh, he's 5'2". He's ugly."
I can't hear what you're saying,
We can't
Emmanuel.
hear
Your
you.
mic is bad.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting you great now.
Okay.
Repeat everything you said.
I could say Amir got a lot of hate. People were saying he's 5'2" anyway. He's ugly anyway. He's not black.
I didn't like that. That's the thing. And if you look at it, I'm glad Curves put this picture. Natalie and Amir look darker than Autumn.
Oh, Autumn. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
I do think it's suspicious though that they canceled it. I will say that.
I think they canceled it because Amir said he's not going to come back if Natalie doesn't come back. And Andy Cohen likes Amir. Bravo likes Amir because rumor is that Amir is he's not toxic behind the scenes. He's not yelling at people behind the scenes. He's not yelling at production and ish behind the scenes. He's not being disrespectful to the staff behind the scenes. And that is what you call a good and outstanding worker. That you would always want to like put in the forefront. And if they put it on pause and if they come back with it, I most likely will. I can assure you guys that Amir probably would be on the show again with Natalie if they're still a couple.
Oh,
and that's not shade that they're going to break up or anything. I think they will probably make it because they like each other very well and they love each other. So we'll see.
What do you think?
And that's right, Emmanuel, about the gatekeeping of blackness, of saying that the black community was doing something so wrong. And I saw even more atrocious things. Some people were making racist things about Amir, saying things about blowing stuff up. And I'm guessing that's due to his Middle Eastern heritage, which is completely racist and atrocious.
That is horrible. So they said that he was but people are dumb. So what? People are stupid.
And you know what? And the thing is, people want to stay
on pause.
People want to say, Natalie.
If we are finally, just let me say this. If we are getting to a day where somebody like Amir, who took zero accountability for what he did on the show, where everybody takes accountability, even in their drunkest moments.
What did he do, Curves?
If him and his girl can be the conductors of mess being started, and then sit back and hide their hands, and then when confronted with the mess that they started, both be able to be like, oh, I don't know what happened, and nothing and zero accountability be had, and then him get to make demands. Well, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back if she can't come back. Well, did you ask? Did you have a house meeting about that? Did you, Amir? Or are you just going around saying shit out your side of your neck now that you're off the thing because your girl who has your dick in her purse is telling you, I need to come back on the show to redeem myself and you need to make me and you can't go unless I can go.
Okay, I'm going to be totally honest with both of you. I don't think that had a lot to do with why the show got canceled or put on pause. I think that, okay, Curve saw every episode. Did you really see that the cast had a good dynamic, would you say?
Yeah, that's what I'm also saying, is that editing did a lot of stupid stuff this season. Even Summer and Preston both expressed that they did have some good times. Like there was good times that were had in the house. And as a viewer, I felt like the people get along enough, but I also felt like it was like this thickness that was always being filmed. And now hearing from Noelle and I think I just said Summer, now hearing from Noelle and Preston that there really were things that were fun and they had a different conversation and they were laughing. I'm really surprised that they decided to edit it with all of these conflicts that needed resolution rather than have the fun and then just leave the conflict resolution for a reunion like they usually do. You know what I mean?
Sorry, I'm not. I didn't like the way Black America was treating Amir, and I'm not with it. And so I didn't like the way they were treating Natalie either. Racism is wrong no matter who does it, who partakes in it.
And I think the only reason they were mad at Natalie was because she was the bone collector.
Well, it was a number of things. Like, if I don't know if you guys heard what I just played as far as what Preston said. He specifically got into the details of Natalie's actions that were seen as microaggressions towards the group, and specifically, like, even I told you guys when we talked about it, the whole stroking Tasia's hair. Tasia did not look comfortable with that happening. And to viewers en masse, that is...
Manuel, what's happening with your mic? There's something like, there's just noise happening.
Is that on my mic?
I think it's a manual.
I don't know. And so maybe it is my mic. I don't know.
No, it's a manual.
Is it still going?
No, it stopped now.
No, it sounds like a gerbil scratches the thing every now and then.
Yeah.
Let me make sure it's not this fan. This mama was hot. Let me turn this. Let's see. I'll turn it this way. There. Okay. I hope that wasn't it. But like the stroking of Tasia's hair, the little micro-aggressive comments that she made under her breath when the girls were in the hallway.
What did she say?
Hey, I don't know, but it was a problem when she said it. It was.
What did she say?
That's why the people are coming for her.
What did she say then?
I don't. Like I just said, I don't know about that particular comment, but I know that she said something that when she first got to the house, she arrived. He takes her upstairs. They go to the room. He's like, girls, do you want to come meet Natalie? And they said no. And she did something. Right then. If you just go back and like what you can remember, there was a moment and it left me as a viewer that I was like, did she just? And then when they finally go downstairs and go outside, how she got to the jacuzzi and she was like, oh, look at them. We don't do that. Or something like that. Like she was better than partying. Please, you're 21, party. And so that was kind of a thing where she was like, it was a us and them kind of statement. And then the stroking of the hair, the taking the mess statement. So, okay, listen, we didn't even get a conversation with Natalie and the other girls during this whole thing. We got Bria taking Natalie some mess one time, but we didn't even see Natalie just like interact with the girls and like have a good little kiki like girls do, like ha ha ha. Oh, I'm telling you something about me personally, and you're telling me something about you, ha ha ha. And this is ha ha ha. Like a nice little kiki. We didn't get that. What we got was when they did ask Natalie about herself, she said, "Oh, I make what he makes in a month, and I make what he makes in a year and a month." That was what she had to say personal. And then when they do have a moment to sit down on that hammock, all those girls were in a conversation that Natalie comes up to, listens to them talk about it. So it's basically a private conversation that they didn't say, oh no, you can't sit here, because that would have been rude. So they let her ear hustle on the conversation, and then she said, oh well, I think Tasia needs to know. And they tell her, we listened to the tape. Noelle said in no uncertain terms, we told her don't say shit.
But what did Tasia find out anyway? Because it was on the show.
Look, That's not the point. And then not only did they say don't say anything, they said if you say something, leave us out of it. Because the one thing that Natalie expressed, other than she makes more money than Amir, is that she saw with her own eyes some things about Nick's behavior that were this, and this, and that. If Amir was acting that way, then she would want to blah. So they said, okay, well, if you do say something, Miss Natalie, stick with that. Don't bring us into it. Right?
My thing is, why are we treating Natalie like this when this is something that other women on the Bravo franchise has done? Black women have done what Natalie have done, but yet we don't drag them the way we want to drag Natalie. And Natalie's not white. Some people want to make her seem as she's white, but
You're
she's not.
overlooking. These ladies it's not a race thing. The ladies on the show have an issue with her for a specific reason. And as viewers, we feel them with their specific reasons, even without knowing everything that Noelle just told us. We were like, that was some messy shit, Natalie. That was not cool, bitch.
So because of that, she has to go off the show because of how viewers feel?
Not off the show. Nobody said she couldn't be on the show. What we're saying is she's not going to be in the house full time.
What I saw was that people were having, man, they lost their natural minds on Twitter when he said that realistically, if you're going on vacation to Martha's Vineyard, because he lives here in the great state of Texas, if you were to go on vacation, he would realistically take his girlfriend, fiance, whatever she is, with him.
Right.
I don't think that's so far-fetched.
Right. It's not.
I don't think it's far-fetched either.
What if that girl who is dating that white guy decided to bring that guy on?
She already told him he can't come because the rule is the people only get to come for a couple of days. It's not about them. It's about this group of friends that have this common thread of all being in the Divine Nine together, or the college experience, the Black college experience together. Now they're off adulting. They come together for 15 days to kick it, and then they go home. What's the problem? They do it on Summer House. Are the people on Summer House kicking, crying, screaming about, oh, well, if my significant other can't come and stay in the house, then I'm not coming? Are they doing that?
My thing is, I'm not liking the racism that's happening. I'm not liking the calling her Karen Lopez. I'm not liking that. That's problematic. That's very problematic.
Oh, that's very problematic, actually.
That is very problematic. I'm not liking it.
But nobody on the show did it. And because nobody on the show did it, the people on the show shouldn't have to have.
No, the people on the show shouldn't have to suffer. But mind you,
this is interesting, you guys. 2 days ago, Bravo, the network, posted an article that Amir and Natalie were taking a huge step in their relationship. They bought a house.
Uh-huh.
I think that's interesting. 2 days, and now it's canceled. Like 2 days later, he announced
that it. Is, huh? Because he announced it at the reunion that was 2 days ago.
Oh,
remember?
Okay, I see.
Yeah. And so for them to have had that, and they just had the reunion, it was great.
And so they didn't even have the decency to give them a little studio. They did it at the clubhouse for Watch What Happens 5.
Yep.
Right.
Even that's kind of like a slap in the face.
Well, they had to fight for one. They're just saying, we're not spending any money on you, even though these numbers are pretty good for a second season show. And why do we have 68 shows about people on boats?
No, the
I mean,
boat shows are interesting. A lot
I
of
will
people watch them.
I will say, they have better ratings than Huntsville.
Yeah, right?
Now, yeah, now that's I know it's a different network, but the ratings weren't horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they weren't horrible at all. It's not the ratings, and even like the inner workings of the thing, even if the fans are like, oh, take this person off, they never usually listen to us. What are they? All of a sudden they listen to us. All of a sudden
They
somebody on the
did.
show does.
They listened to y'all for Robin.
No, we didn't want Robin gone. We wanted Giselle gone.
No, we wanted Robin gone.
Nobody was gunning for Robin the way they were gunning for Giselle. The petitions were all for Giselle. All petitions said Giselle. I didn't see one petition that said Robin Dixon on a petition. There was 5 petitions to get Giselle Bryant off.
Everyone was saying that Robin was going to be fired for doing the paywall thing, announcing that Robin did.
She should have been
cheated,
but there was not a petition about it.
No, there wasn't a petition, but everyone was saying that she was going to be fired. She deserves to be fired because of it, and then she was fired the season later.
Okay, so moral of the story: if you're a show that's not white, you're gonna get canceled on Bravo.
Yeah,
because
if you're a show, listen, this is the moral. If you're a show that's not predominantly white, is predominantly people of color, or
Shaun of Sunset, Family
Drama, and the fans go crazy on Twitter, your show will be canceled or on pause.
I can't.
Yeah, I think that might be it. That if you're a show of color on Bravo and you have pretty good numbers, lots of interest, but they're faced with any type of having to protect blackness or color. So like with Family Karma, color, they canceled that. I heard the numbers were great. The people were watching. Why was it canceled? Because the people were stupid online, so they say. So they were being faced with having to say, they would have had to be like, you know what? Can you guys leave our cast alone? But instead of saying that, they don't want to deal with it. So they cut off the color so they don't have to deal with it.
Well,
so
this is the thing.
Let me say one more thing.
Should we not do too much criticism because our people are going to be on these shows? And
we're just now realizing the pattern, aren't we? I mean, I didn't know.
Well, I think some people take it overboard. There was this one girl on Twitter who likes to, oh my gosh, she likes to write these think pieces of Potomac and everything. She dedicated about 7 to 10 tweets, and hold up, let me look this up because I don't
not 7 to 10 tweets.
No, it was like a timeline. It was crazy. Let me show you.
Oh my god. This is the thing. A lot of these fans who are on these Twitter streets and shit, it's as if they have nothing better to do. I want to know if they can reciprocate this time to educate themselves about global issues and global conflicts that are happening around the world.
But is anybody saying that statement that you just said to the Swifties? Is anybody saying that statement? You know what I'm saying? Like, so why is that statement something that would come out right now, even with the conversation around shows of color being punished for the behaviors of being forced to confront color and have to protect it? Why?
Okay, but you guys look at this. This woman on Twitter said, Amir's self-hate and internalized anti-blackness is embodied by his relationship with Natalie. Here is a thread. And then they go on to tweet 11 tweets with images and, Amir was introduced to us as a biracial middle. And that's a little too much.
That's a lot.
Is he not?
But hey, does she not have a YouTube channel or something? Like, why would she
Right.
do that in tweets, for one? And it is because also just look at this. So as a Black woman, watching Amir specifically interact the way that he does with his Blackness in my screen for this show, it's cute and endearing in some ways and very maddening and off-putting in others, right? So there's a point of reconciliation when, as a viewer, you're like, okay, this person was open and honest enough to say they didn't have the Black experience. I'm doing air quotes because what is it, right? He didn't have the Black experience growing up, and he himself felt like an outsider, so to speak, in this setting, and he was looking forward to whatever, right? So it's almost like he was an observer. And so then when he interacts with people that are like, damn, that's not like a brother, then you're like, oh yeah, well, he did already say X, Y, and Z. So there's a point of reconciliation that has to come. And maybe that's her way of reconciling. For one, yes, he is Black. For two, yes, he is Black. And for three, he just did some stuff that wasn't very Black.
This is crazy. So there's certain things that Black people have to do now?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's...
Right. Why can't it be that he just has a different personality? Why does the race, like, maybe that's where we're not understanding.
Right, that's my point. Right, Emmanuel.
Like maybe he just has a different personality. Like maybe he's just a different person. Mm-hmm. But why does that? Like, why does he acts this way, so he must not like being Black?
Because he brought it up.
What did he bring up?
He introduced that in the conversation in the very first season about himself as he relates to what's about to happen when we're watching him. He introduced this for topic. Had he just come in the room and we not known anything about it, we would have just been like, oh, he's kind of Carlton, and probably left it alone. But because he specifically said what he said, maybe that's what this is.
He did not grow up around
He
his
brought
Black
it up.
side?
Yeah, he brought it up. Nobody would have known that.
No, what's wrong with him saying that he did not really grow up around his Black side? That doesn't... Growing up around,
but he brought it up first. So why? So the problem isn't that people brought it up after he brought it up. If we were just bringing it up out of our ass, then that would be like, oh darn, why are you bringing it up?
This is the exact similar thing that people say about Garcelle Beauvais. That Garcelle doesn't bring her hood out on Housewives. Garcelle doesn't represent Black culture on Housewives. This is the same exact thing, because Garcelle is a very more, let's say, I don't know the right word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all can figure it out. Because Garcelle is a certain type of way. She has her own certain type of personality, and people say she's supposed to act. I
appreciate Garcelle not feeding them any angry Black woman. I love it. She doesn't have to. And you're right.
Well, that's not what people want her to.
Because I remember when we were on that other panel and there was the reunion and people said,
a lot of people do want to see that.
She needs to be more hood. She needs to be more like Nene.
No.
Right.
No, I don't think so.
And that's not who she is.
Right.
So why do people want Amir to be something that he's not?
Hey, he doesn't have to be. And when you bring something up on a show for a storyline, people are going to talk about it. It's just like Sweet Tea brings up her infertility or her fertility challenges, and then is mad people have an opinion about it. Sweet Tea brings up you know what I'm saying? You cannot, that is not intellectually honest to bring something up on a TV show that people are going to talk about and expect it to not be brought up again after you bring. It's not intellectually honest, period.
But that is completely different. So what, he brought up that, so that means we can weaponize his experience.
It's not a weapon. now this person is making reference to that point that he made. What was the statement that person said again, Emmanuel? She specifically
On
referred
Twitter?
back to what he said in her
This-
12 tweet thing.
I'm sorry. I'm Team Amir because I can't with the.
Au revoir. Merci beaucoup.
She said
Have a great day.
Amir's self-hate and internalized anti-blackness.
Read the whole thread.
Okay. Amir's self-hate and internalized anti-blackness is embodied by his relationship with Natalie. Here is the thread. So she had time to do this. Amir was introduced to us as a biracial black man who was raised by his Middle Eastern side and wanted to know more about his black side. I'm sorry, I don't remember his family's ethnicity, and I don't want to be wrong. I mean no offense by saying Middle Eastern. At first, it worked. He seemed genuinely interested in African American culture and Giselle voice. In 5 minutes, he tore all of that innocent ignorance down when he introduced us to his girlfriend, Natalie. Before season 2 started, some questionable tweets from an account that appeared to be Amir's surfaced. If they are from him, you can see his internal struggles from these tweets alone. This is the tweet I want to focus on. Do you remember when the group of white girls group chat went viral because they were saying they feel like black men don't love themselves and they find it unattractive? That's exactly what Amir is giving. So this tweet is allegedly from Amir, and it says, a lot of black females scare me. So this person goes on to say, so black women scare Amir, but a woman who causes mess amongst his friends, wants to live together after 2 months, has you issuing ultimatums to your employer, puts down his income in public, will cut off his B if he flirts, that's all good, not scary at all. Amir is embodying the black men podcast bro mentality, how black men will get on social media and yell all day about how black women don't submit. Black women don't do this, black women need to do that, but will play Geo-free from Fresh Prince of Acceptance from non-black women in a heartbeat. Let's talk about how short, pun intended, he was with Mariah. Even though he admitted it was a mistake, he refused to apologize, then went back to the men to talk ish about Mariah. But all Natalie has to do is give him the silent treatment and he's groveling. The fact that Amir had no problem with painting Mariah as an aggressor, that conversation went exactly how I thought it would go, and Bria in an argument he started, but he can't see all of the red flags Natalie is letting fly freely. Guess what this is? Amir doesn't love his own blackness. Amir allows for Natalie to emasculate him because he doesn't love himself. He feels grateful that she would even date him. Amir is blind to Natalie's anti-blackness because he doesn't see his own. And if Amir can't see how wildly inappropriate it is to demand that Natalie should become full-time in a space where she should be a guest, he can go. Take Christina Columbus with you.
Whoa.
That's kind of offensive.
That is very problematic.
Oh my gosh. And Columbus was an Italian, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was actually a read, and a lot of it I can agree with. And I
don't agree with any of it.
I actually mentioned to you when we were talking about this whole thing as part of the issue as to why. So I keep saying Amir by itself is fine. Amir is not the issue. Amir is not the issue. It's his girl and the way he's taking up for his girl that makes the issue, and him forcing her down our throats as an ultimatum of it's either her or none of us. Then we're like, fine, you can go. It's not saying that we don't want Amir. It's saying that your ultimatum is stupid because she's the hostile person in a space where she was a guest, period. And if people can't understand that's not a way to enter a space on vacation, then What about all the people in that house? How were they supposed to feel?
But
They
what
were
about if
uncomfortable.
Bravo wants to bring?
They all
Don't
were
you think
like,
that
they don't even.
Don't you think that Bravo wants Natalie? Don't you think that they want her as well?
Well, and not only that, because you're saying that, but a lot of people, the majority of the people, including that disgruntled ex-employee of Love Marriage DC, were saying, "Good, we don't want him to come back anyway. He can go."
Right.
So they were. You're not saying that, but a lot of them were. And
Oh,
I don't know about you guys, but
yeah.
to me, Amir was kind of like the most popular character.
Right,
Like,
he
the
was.
first season, and like even right now.
Yeah, well, Amir is definitely like, I didn't want him to leave because he's the only one that cleans up. He's they had 15 bags of trash the first time he decided to clean up, and then he cleaned up the whole 15 days. I was like, bruh, they need Amir.
Right, he's the clean one.
But I do think there is something to be said about Bravo not showing equal treatment when it comes to just the shows, even something as simple as promoting. We've talked a lot about how, for example, Married to Medicine doesn't get promoted as other shows do. We have
Right.
all these shows getting canceled. We have even The Real Housewives of Miami, which is one of the most diverse housewife shows, because we have immigrants, we have Latinos, we have Haitians, we have all. They've been put on pause and they haven't even been filming. They might fire Gertie, so there is something to that.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff they'll do. They would fire Gertie and keep the aggressor, who was Larsa, and
Not just Larsa. You're forgetting Lisa Hochstein too.
Oh yes, and Lisa was very aggressive.
Not just to Gertie, also to
Oh my goodness, she was a lot. But all of that kind of stuff gets excused, and and even Shaws of Sunset, even though Mike was problematic and has proven to be problematic since the show ended. I even like Shaws of Sunset fine enough. I wasn't sure why they had to go anywhere. Just get new people to play.
Right. Well, did you guys ever hear of that Bravo show, Mexican Dynasties?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. Them too. They got one season and that was it.
Yeah. And they act like, oh, they won't notice. We just put another show on with some boats and white people. Come on. And whenever they do have a show with boats and white people, there's hardly any black people on there. And nobody's saying, oh, I want my person to come live with me on this boat or else I'm not coming back. That's ridiculous.
Well, you guys, we got to support the Real Housewives of Dubai.
Oh, yeah. June 2nd, right?
Yeah, this Sunday after New Jersey.
Right
and then
on.
After that, after this first episode, they'll air it on Tuesday nights. But yeah, we got to support. This is one of the few shows that will be left.
Yeah, that's a lot of diversity over there. That's like Miami, but in Dubai with as much international as diversities. It's beautiful. I love it. And that's another thing. I'm not like subscribing to the idea that a cast has to remain or always be one thing. However, I am subscribing to the idea of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if you get to have Summer House on for how many seasons? I'm looking it up. How long has Summer House been on? The original Summer House. That's what we need to know. Summer House. Summer House. Thanks for coming to LRGA Curves today. Smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Go ahead and ring the bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video so you can become part of the beautiful curvy community that we're growing over here in the YouTube streets. Thanks for popping in tonight. We've been talking about the pause that got put on Summer's House, Martha's Vineyard, along with some behind the scenes drama that included that revelation that Summer Autumn was actually kicked out of the house the 13th day of 15 when she woke up that morning, stretched, and said, I think I should go home because I just shouldn't have come because I had so much going on. As it turned out, they had a house meeting and she was asked to leave. And also about Natalie's interactions in the house. Also, that
I have a question. Y'all said you don't like her touching, I forgot her name's hair.
Tasia's hair.
Tasia's hair. But I don't think that's big of a deal. That's not big of a deal. She did not she wasn't picking it. She wasn't plucking it.
Okay.
That would have been a different case if she did that.
No, it's the invasion of personal space, the liberty with my personal space.
Did Tasia say, "Don't touch my hair"?
But you don't have to. That's the thing. You don't
The
just
thing,
walk
no,
up
no,
to
no, no, no,
people
no,
and
no,
take
no, no.
liberties
If
with
it
them.
was in a friendly way,
Yeah, I
But it wasn't. The girl said, listen, okay, so do you think it was friendly? She said, Tasia, can we talk? And Tasia said, no, I don't want to. I'm with Nick. And then she gets herself up, traipses over there, starts stroking her hair, and asks her to talk again. She just told you she doesn't want to talk. She's trying to spend the last couple moments with Nick. And it was aggressive. That was freaking aggressive.
Because I have a problem with that hair stroking thing too, because I could see, obviously everybody knows that's a macroaggression, but at least for me, if I were to stroke a girl, that's kind of like an affection thing. I don't know. But if you're saying the girl didn't want to talk to her and she just, so you're saying the girl said, I don't want to talk to you, and Natalie went and just started touching her hair?
Yes, it was so weird. They're sitting across the table.
I'm gonna say something, and this may sound so problematic, but Emmanuel probably would agree with me.
Go ahead.
Latin people have a history of touching people's hair and calming them down and stuff.
Yes,
so many times.
Mothers will, they'll be patting their
aggressive daughter's hair. When their sons are mad or something, they'll be touching their head and touching their hair. So I don't think she did it as a way to be offensive or anything or condescending. I think she did it from a way of caring. And the way that people want to weaponize that against her is completely wrong to me. I feel if this is the thing about these quote unquote black shows, since they're trying to make this show as a black show, even though it's not a black show, it's a show for anyone and everyone. It's just a predominantly black show.
So do you know the history of Martha's Vineyard?
I know the history of Martha's Vineyard and stuff, but it's not just black people that go to Martha's Vineyard. But I will say this. If they want to make these shows like this, and when they include someone who's not black on the show and there's a problem, people are going to start saying that this is going to be harsh to say. It's going to be too hard to work with black people. Black people are too hard to work with. That's what they're going to start pushing. And that's exactly what happened with Anila Saja, who was on Married to Medicine and did nothing wrong, but they
should not have gotten rid of Anila. I'm sorry, but they shouldn't have.
Those reinforce. There's such thing as a stereotype, and there's also things that reinforce stereotypes. And what's happening to Natalie and what happened to Anila reinforces the stereotype that we as black people are hard to work with.
So, what about the comfortability of the 5 black women that were in that house that Natalie was microaggressive towards without any freaking accountability or she hasn't apologized. She hasn't talked to them since then. She doesn't see nothing wrong with what she did except for demand that she be put back on their platform so that she can have a moment to act right because now she knows better?
Well, maybe she was educated after getting all this hate.
No.
Let me finish my sentence, Curves. I let you finish.
Education.
I let you finish, Curves. Let me finish. Maybe she's gotten, after receiving all these comments, after receiving all these, most of them being hate comments, after receiving all these racist comments, she probably took the time to reflect and realize what she did was probably wrong. and she probably wants to make it up for herself and wants to redeem herself. Listen, I'm all for, if you do something wrong and you acknowledge and you own it, I'm all for redemption culture. If you can redeem yourself, great. And we've seen people redeem themselves before. One of those people
But
is Eric
why?
Jane.
Look,
Who?
we only get 15. Listen. This is a show about 15 days on a summer motherfucking vacation. And you want this to come back to the house to have a full-on redemption arc after she's
Don't you
finally
call her
learned how to interact with some black people? Please. She needs to
No.
stay her
She
ass
needs to
wherever
have
her
every
ass
right to
is when
redeem
she learned the
herself.
lesson
She
on
needs to
how to
have every
interact
right
with some
to
black
redeem
people
herself.
and keep on practicing until it's perfect. And then when she thinks she almost has it perfect, invite her back as a guest and see if she has
It's already been almost over a year since they filmed. She can come back now. She can come back whenever the F she wants to come back.
No, she doesn't.
If
She doesn't. Why is it always on us? Why are we always the safe place for people to be able to land and do this stuff? No, let her go. Have her comeuppance. Now, great. If she learned to not carry his dick in her purse and to not freaking do microaggressive things in a house full of
maybe
black
she didn't.
people.
Okay, listen. This is why education is very important. Certain things, certain people don't know when something's microaggressive, and certain people don't know. Even black people do.
So she was just being a bitch.
Maybe.
No, Curves, you can't say that. Oh my God, Curves, I can't believe you just said that.
No, because it's one or the other. Because microaggressions is
No.
a nice way of saying that you were being a racist bitch. So you're either just one
Curves.
or you're learning how not to be the other. I mean, look, we don't
Curves.
have to keep making excuses.
Why are you
for
not?
duh.
Okay, listen. We don't even know Natalie's childhood, really. We don't know how she
I
grew
don't
up.
have to know Natalie, and
Let
that's
me
only
finish my
get 15
sentence.
days. They
Let me
got
finish-
15
let-
days,
let- let me finish-
Sebastian.
Let me finish my sentence.
Oh my God.
Mind you, the reality is, most of these microaggressions, most of these things were considered normal. Just 10 years ago, were considered normal. The stroking of the hair, calling people girl, calling a black girl
Stroking of the hair has been
girl.
an issue for a very long time.
It has not been an issue for a very long
Beyond
time.
10 years. I've been black for 50 years. This shit's been an issue at least 50 of the 50 years I've been here.
I've been black.
You don't
for
go up to
almost
black
23
people and
years.
stroke their hair.
Within my
You just
generation,
don't.
within my generation, it was not really that big of a thing. I'm gonna say this: Natalie does deserve the chance to redeem herself. She's not a racist. I don't believe she's a racist. Some
Yeah,
people
I'm not
want
saying
to
she's
say
full
that.
on racist.
No. She's not a racist. And by your definition of racism, she cannot be racist, Curves. Because
You're right about that, because she did not make a system or a policy that she could enact.
By
to
your
affect
definition,
her
she
entire
can't be
people.
racist.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
By your definition of racism.
Yeah,
But
right.
Prejudice.
I didn't say she was a full-on racist.
no, she can't be racist at all, since you said racism has to do with just systems.
She could be prejudiced, but she can't.
Yeah, she's prejudiced and bigoted for sure.
But
She has her.
we
whole
also have to
fucking vibe.
acknowledge she probably did not grow up in an environment where there were many people.
Oh, so her and her future husband match each other perfectly. So here's an idea for somebody out there in LRGA Curves land.
Oh God.
Start this, it'll make you $1 bajillion. Coming soon to a strip mall near you.
Oh God.
Don't have any black people in your life? Need to learn about black culture? Going to a black event and don't know the do's and don'ts? Come stop by for this quick 1-hour interactive immersive course on how to interact with black people so you don't
black
look
people
like
are not a
complete
monolith.
asshole.
There's many different types of black people.
You
and there's
guys
many
know.
different types of-
You guys know they've actually have done that before, right?
They have. It was problematic when they did that.
Yeah, it was a group of white women from suburbia who went to an event on how to deal with something to that effect.
It was very problematic when they did that. My thing is
I
this.
can see why, because you're supposed to learn how to act just from, like, I don't know, like nobody has to tell me the things on how not to act and invade a person's personal space
Okay, don't get me wrong. It's wrong that she
cringeworthiness.
invaded. It's wrong that she invaded her personal space. But like, my thing is why are we trying to hold that against her and never allow her the capability to redeem herself?
Well, she can. It's just I don't have to see it. I don't have to see it. She's not entertaining to me. She didn't do anything this season.
The thing is,
that makes
she
me
grew up in
want
an
to see her
environment where they
again.
would touch your hair. As I'm
No,
telling
no,
you,
but okay, so name this. What did she do this season that makes you want to see her again on this show? What was so interesting about Natalie? She was so what? That
listen,
makes you
I'm
want
telling
see
this.
her again?
Natalie's a
me,
fellow
she's just
Cuban,
so-
and I want to see her on this show for another season because we rarely see Cubans on these Housewives shows or these Bravo shows. We need to see another one.
To me,
Two,
she's just attractive. I just want to see her.
she is gorgeous. We can't take that away from her. She's gorgeous. Two, yes, I know y'all say she grew up in Miami. She's been around Black people many of times. But the thing is, the Black people she grew up in Miami are probably not the same type of Black people that are on this show. Black people are not a monolith. We all are not treated the same way. We all grow up in different types of cultures and environments and different backgrounds. Touching of the hair in the
I
Latin
know the kind
community.
of Black people she likes. She likes the kind of Black people that can be inner. That's the kind of Black she likes.
That's not nice, Curves.
Like Erica Mena?
She's not nice.
Like
That's not nice. But the thing is, in my culture, in Latin culture, where I am Black, we do touch people's hair when we're kind of mad to like calm them down, like querido, and like we like pat their neck and shoulder, and especially because I'm Brazilian also.
Yeah,
I'll say this.
Rub their scalps.
We rub their scalps. We hold them. We do that all the time when we're talking to someone who's mad, and that is a way of decompression. And as y'all said, she grew up in Miami, and y'all said she grew up in Miami, and the fact that she grew up in Miami, she probably did that on a daily basis because the reality is the majority of the Black people in Miami are Latin Black people, are Haitians, Cubans, Brazilians. So she had every right to do that, and listen to this. If she can't redeem herself, so y'all want this woman to hate her, y'all want her to remind herself every single day in her life that this one thing that she did on these 15 days she did on Summer House Martha's Vineyard is
and she was only there for 72 hours, Sebastian.
Okay, the 72 hours she was on Martha's Vineyard. Okay, Curves. Okay, the 72 hours out of the 15 days on Martha's Vineyard that she will have to be reminded of herself that she was a microaggressive maniac on TV. Is that what y'all want this girl to always be like this? Y'all want this girl to always be reminded like this? We allowed Erica James to redeem herself. We allowed Kathy Hilton to redeem herself when she
allowed Evelyn Lozada.
We allowed Evelyn Lozada to redeem herself.
Even with Natalie, the demand that he's making is that she be full-time.
Well, the thing is, I'm gonna be honest. He has a rightful demand because, like, I'm not gonna spend 15 days away on vacation without my significant other. Especially if I'm
he's literally at work getting paid to party for 15 days. If he can't go to work for 15 days on a job that he can't what?
It's not that easy for everyone. He's become accustomed to her. She's practically his life.
Natalie is Milo. I get it.
He become accustomed to her. He loves her. He probably wants to see her more and more and more and more and more. Yeah. Some people, it's hard for them to be away from
Rhea wants to see Milo every second.
Curves, what did this girl do to you, Curves, that you have her like this?
I just do not like ultimatums. I don't like being force-fed bullshit.
Well, Natalie's not the one who gave the ultimatum. It's her man.
Also, for Amir to have had a relationship with these ladies for 2 years now, he's been going out with Natalie for 1 year. So that means the relationship that he's had with these ladies has been longer. And he came at them all sideways also, because this girl lied to him and got his boxers all in a nutch and had him all out on Front Street looking stupid, talking about where you put all this on Natalie. And now the 8th housewife played back the thing that his wife is as messy as all the girls who he knew longer than her told him that she did. So it's just like all kind of stuff, and he doesn't even take accountability for that.
Okay, so
if he took a little accountability, maybe I'll get my heel off his neck. I don't know.
Okay. So he said, I don't think the dynamic of the house is going to be there to where I'm going to have a good time and my partner is going to have a good time. At the end of the day, I want her to be there with me this time. That's how I know I'll have the most fun. It's fun to party with your friends, but real adult vacations, everyone brings their significant other. No one bats an eye about it, and you have a great time. So if all of those things line up, absolutely, I would love to come back for season 3. If they don't, then I've just got some heavy thinking.
Yeah. But that's not the formula. So is it fair that he gets to change the formula of the show?
Well, he's just asking for a favor. He just said if his girlfriend can come back, he would come back. If she can't, he's not going to come back because he wants to be fulfilled and happy. He wants to not have to play with his toy. He y'all got me going crazy. He wants his girlfriend to be in Martha's Vineyard with him for the 15 days. What's wrong with that?
So it's okay that this girl came and injected herself in another cast member's relationship and then lied on the other girls because the girl said, don't bring me into it. She said, okay. And then she went and brought them into it and sat back and hid her hands. She texted him at the table when Nick said, who told you this? Where did you get this from? Instead of saying, oh, I've seen some things that I wanted to talk to her about the way that they told her to say it. She says, oh, Bria, Shanice, and the other girl. So if she wants to come back, maybe she can come back and say, you know what? I'm real sorry for all the mess that I started last year, and then leave. But don't sit me in a house with her for 15 days. That's ridiculous.
He wants to see her.
I don't care what I want to see Jesus walk on water so I know how to do it right.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not going to necessarily get to see that.
This one thing I've always said, I don't think it's fair for people to only have one appearance on TV. And I said this about Anne-Marie. I don't think it's fair when cast members only have one season, because I think a lot of times they get unfair editing. They get, I don't know, you just don't know their story. But in the regular summer house, like just the summer house, isn't there a couple there?
Yeah, so Summer House has been on since 2017. So it's been a number of seasons of this stuff going back and forth. And so they've had many, many chances. They just started getting some other people in the house that aren't Anglo-Saxon. I'm sorry.
Curves, that's not okay, Curves.
I'm so sorry. But you know the thing, Emmanuel, I was thinking about your comment is that as much as we can say we don't want a person to only have one chance, everybody and their mama pretty much has heard, and if they haven't, then they need to hear it now, that you never get a second chance at a first impression. Everybody's heard that at one time or another. And especially on a thing like a TV that has channels that goes out over waves and is streamed in countries on demand. You never get a second chance at a first impression, Natalie. You never get a second chance at a first impression, Esophagus Gate Anne-Marie.
No.
You never get a second chance at a first impression, long-fingered Necca with the witch Walter. Nope. And that statement alone means that you only are due one chance.
Because
you do one.
You gave Wendy a second chance. She didn't have the most pleasant first
impression. But I did not like Wendy. I didn't have a problem with Wendy.
So you didn't have an issue when she was all up Giselle's ass?
No, because I didn't see it as because that's the thing. I didn't see it as up Giselle's ass. I saw it as a great person that comes to work and knows how to do their job, the opposite of Giselle's ass, who doesn't know how to do her job on a show where you're paid to get along and talk with people for at least an hour in this meeting while we go to this party. But no, you can't even come up in here and act right because you're not trying to film with nobody because you don't know how to do your job. And the only thing in your contract you're supposed to do is talk and be cute in front of the camera.
But Wendy, I think she was the closest to Giselle.
Mm-hmm. Oh, your husband? Yeah, I know your husband. We
'Cause
used to do
I
campaign
remember-
together.
Yeah, at the
Mhm.
reunion, all the girls were saying, like, even Andy said to Giselle, like, you usually are pretty hard on the newbies. Like, why were you so open to Wendy? And Giselle was like, oh, I love her. She's AKA. She's so intelligent.
Yeah, that was all fine. That was fine. She was trying to get along at first, and then she went to the wrong husband. And Wendy had to put her head on a spigot to all the other people who might come after her marriage after this one and let the girl know, not today, Nick, not today, Satan. This is not the relationship to come for, and you will not be speaking ill of the husband that I have that you don't and could never keep.
How long have Amir and Natalie been together?
It's been a
they
while because
said-
I followed Amir before he was even on this show because he's a realtor in Austin. And
They
not
were
just
together
Austin. He
before
also
the
does real
show,
estate in
right?
other cities as well in Texas, not just Austin.
Oh.
I followed him for a while, and I remember it's probably been like 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
Okay, so that is
While
so
the first
interesting.
season was airing, when the first season was airing, they were already together.
That's what I heard. And so that whole him trying to get a Jasmine thing was while Natalie was at home.
No.
And-
When I said when the first season was airing, not filming, airing.
So if they've been together for 3 years,
I said 2 or 3.
okay, 2 or 3 years, and you're saying that this season that we just saw was filmed last summer. I heard that Amir was with Natalie because she was at the first premiere party, you guys. Natalie was at the first premiere party.
Yeah, but that was already a year of filming.
Right. So, but they had already been like talking before that, and then she came to the premiere party.
Okay, talking's not dating.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a date. I think she would have more of an issue with everybody if that was the case.
Oh yeah, she would definitely do way more than just pet hair, since you're saying.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
even if that's what, I just don't know, and if she is so big and bad and this, that, and the other, then why didn't she say what she saw him do instead of put it on the other girls? Because she's not big and bad. She's a coward and was trying to throw those girls under the bus and start mess, just like she did. And now nobody has a job because she came on that show and started all that mess.
Wait a minute. Who is Mariah Torres?
Mariah is the one that pushed Bria last season.
Is she
Is that-
Hispanic?
I think she is.
I think she is.
Interesting.
Let me see. Did it come up somewhere? Is it in a comment? The cast did not agree she should come back. Yeah, nobody raised their hand. Nobody wants to see her again. And if everything goes by votes, then she just got voted off the island. It's not anybody's fault. You'd never get a second chance at a first impression.
Okay.
Yep, just ask NECA. Just ask her. They said it's not canceled, it's on a pause. And people are speculating, including Sebastian, that the pause may be for us to forget about it, and then they'll come back with something Amir and Natalie can do together. Because Andy likes Amir, and we do know that Amir has kissed Andy before, at least on the cheek, in a thruple kind of kissing thing.
There's nothing wrong with kissing. Arab men kiss.
Yes, no, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that Andy likes him because he's willing to kiss him. What?
And some Latin men kiss too.
No, Sebastian.
I think kissing is great among men.
You know.
Okay, in the way they kissed, it
you
was
know
kind of
that
weird.
It's a little suspicious.
It is a little suspicious.
And the way he
Kiss
patted his
Andrew
penis
Cohen.
when Andy asked Amir, "Does Natalie have your dick in in her purse?" And he patted his lap so cute, and he said, "Nope, it's right here." Did you? He said, "Nope, it's right here."
Okay.
Because
He
I
said,
remember
"No."
in
I
the
brought it
first
back.
season, I even remember like Andy had Amir do a little.
Yeah, he
act in
did
the clubhouse.
something.
He was like on
Yes.
his knees, he's begging or like asking for forgiveness. It was kind of weird.
Yes, it was something.
Okay. Andy
does
likes
it.
Amir. Okay, that's not a big deal. That's not huge.
Oh, Andy had. Oh, I'll never forget. He says a lot of inappropriate things. One time, he told Lisa Vanderpump at the clubhouse that he wanted to cuddle with Tom Sandoval.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think
Okay.
a boss should say you want to cuddle with his employee. It's kind of weird.
They did
Well,
so many HR
Who
violations.
said it? Someone said that Andy's not really the boss at Bravo.
Yeah,
That's true.
He's just like the face. I think years ago, didn't they say that he stopped being involved with a lot of stuff years ago?
Yeah, it's been about like 4 years now.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I didn't watch any other shows, so I was only coming to talk about this one. It is 11 o'clock, almost.
It's 1:57, almost 2 in the morning on the East
Oh my
Coast.
gosh. Well,
I
I'm
have
glad
to go
you
to
stayed
sleep,
up.
so I hope you guys all have a good night.
It's
Yeah,
1 a.m. over
thanks for
here.
coming up.
God bless Amir and Natalie's relationship. Hopefully they make
Yes.
the haters hate and they last long than what these haters want them to do.
Yes. Shout out to Struggle Love.
Well, if we want to drag Amir and Natalie, this is a power couple. They're both working and have a job. But one thing we do know is we saw a weird couple on the Real Houses of Potomac of the name of Candace and Bassett, who's a bum. So we're not gonna drag Natalie and Amir, who
Not
are
a weird couple.
Why are you so racist towards Chris?
I'm not racist towards him. I didn't say he's racist. I said he's a bum.
Why are you picking on Chris? How did we get to Potomac? I thought you were saying good night.
Well, I was finishing my good night, but yeah, you brought something up, so I had to bring it up too.
Lord have mercy.
So
Chris,
I wish you
the-
all
yeah,
have a
the way
great
he talks
night.
to
I
his
wish
wife-
Summer House, Martha's Vineyard.
This has been great.
I hope they solve all their ish and they come back again. And if Natalie has to be part of the cast, and if Amir wants to be on the cast, and he wants Natalie to be on the cast, she has every right to be on the cast. If he's the king of this show, every show has a king and queen. Of Housewives and Queens, Amir is a king on this show. If he wants Natalie on this show, he has every right to. The same way Lanithia wanted certain people off of Roa, she had every right to. The same way Teresa Giudice wanted certain people on or off on Jersey, she had
and
every
nothing
right
happened
to.
because all she said for the last month of Real Housewives of New Jersey last year was, "Oh, she's fired. She's not going to."
No, she's gotten other people fired. But the same thing, Nene has done the same thing.
Oh, she's not going to be here next year. And then we see Melissa everywhere. She's mad.
Okay, Nene, she did get some people. Teresa has gotten some people fired. Nene has gotten some people fired. Teresa has gotten some people fired. Bethany was the queen of New York somehow. She got on, left, got back on again.
Vicky
did the same. So we
Heather. It's almost basic, huh, Carrie? The term hater is so basic these days. It's like so overused.
No,
like,
Heather Gay got Monica.
Oh no, Heather Gay?
Yeah, she got Monica fired.
So every housewife show, every Bravo show has a king or a queen. And if he's the king of this show, if he's the kingdom of this summer house in Martha's Vineyard, he has every right to want.
Well, I don't even know how he got to be that though. What did, just like his boring take back skeleton bones girlfriend, Natalie, what has Amir done except for puppy dog after Jordan and get shot down and then clean up the season and bring a problematic girlfriend? What has Amir done?
Well, he's kind of like the face of the show, no?
No.
They always market Amir.
Preston, I would say Preston. I've seen Preston do more stuff than Amir.
No, that's not true. I've seen Amir do more than everyone else. especially because he had a whole group of following before this show.
Well, I don't watch. I don't watch
Amir was
regular
an
TV. Are you
influencer
saying
before the
like?
show.
Are you
Amir was
saying
a
like
real estate
commercials?
influencer before the show. He did not need Bravo to make his name. He did not need
Well,
Bravo.
then let him go where he goes with his girlfriend and take him over to his big, wonderful platform over there. Then what's his big gripe?
Leave Amir Lancaster alone. Leave the black and Lebanese man alone. And another thing is, people need to stop gatekeeping blackness. If Amir never said he was half Lebanese, you would have never thought he was half Lebanese. Okay, so leave this man alone.
Yeah, he should have. Again, you can never have a second chance at first impressions. If you only get 2 minutes to introduce yourself, think long and hard about what you'll want people to remember and bring up again and again and again and again and again and again and again, because you gave it to him as information.
But
And
he's
also,
very respectful, though. He's a very respectful.
And I see people want to weaponize his former tweets about him saying that black women scare him. Listen, he probably was young and he had an experience that day. Context matters. Maybe a black woman yelled at him, and then that he just
Well,
said.
maybe again. Look, he went to a whole college. You think he might have wanted to add context before just throwing out stupid
That was a
statements
tweet from his
that
team.
are blanket stereotypical statements about an
cannot-
entire race of women? He might have wanted to qualify that.
Y'all cannot. I'm not gonna hold tweets in your teenage years or your years of.
Was it teenage? How long ago was the tweet, Emmanuel?
I'm pretty sure they didn't show the date.
It was in 2024. He said it.
No, he said 2012.
Oh, okay, yeah. He was 12. He was like 10 when he said that shit. It probably was the girl that he asked.
He was 15 years old in 2012.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm sure there may have been a black girl that scared him.
Shame on everyone who wants to hold things on Twitter.
Okay, yeah. So if he was 15, this woman is kind of messed up to build a whole threat around that. Like,
I wonder what that woman was doing at 15. She probably was laying it low, spreading it wide. I'm sorry.
What were you saying? Was laying it low and spreading it wide?
The woman who wrote this threat.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, I'm not with this. You cannot weaponize your teen comments in your adult.
Yeah, okay. If that was from 10 years, a new rule.
More than 10 years ago. I don't want to
hear about nothing from more than 5 years ago. If it's over 5 years.
5 years is too recent. I say teens. If you're in your teens, we're not going to use that against you because you have to grow. You have to grow.
So, yeah, if he was like 10, then yeah.
Well, we know that the Valley is getting renewed.
Oh, see, of course, because they have 2 well-known racists on there and a cheater.
Who's
actually 2 cheaters and 2 racists, because didn't Jax get his new girl pregnant already?
What?
Yeah, they're saying that's what's was it Real Andy posted something about
I'm sorry, but I don't like Brittany for Jax. Brittany's just an unhinged, drunk woman.
Oh, and she's always.
I would say some crazy shit. I would say some crazy-ish on your channel, but if we go backstage, I'll tell y'all. I feel as if Brittany ... during ... and ... is the reason why ... is like ... That's it.
Oh, Krishan Rock.
Oh.
You're saying.
So you don't think it was the ...
Nope.
Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. You can blame it on the Henny. Blame it on the vodka.
We all know. Alcohol is not designed for the human body to consume. That's why even consuming it in low amounts can still affect your health.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like for her to like, I understand his frustration. I mean, we go out every time and you have stomach. You gotta go vomit.
Out of nowhere.
That is like a real issue. If you know that your guts are gonna burn and you're gonna vomit and end up in the ER and you still go drink, you might need rehab.
The same way, okay, this is gonna sound racist, but y'all hold Wendy Williams, y'all hold her drinking against her all the time. Hold it against Brittany too.
Did I? Have I
No,
held
not
it
you.
against Wendy?
Not you. The fans. The fans.
Hold it against who? And Wendy and who else?
Okay, people hold Wendy Williams' drinking against her. The
Yeah.
same could be said for Brittany, because if she continues this way, she'll be closer to how Wendy Williams.
Oh, is that what's wrong with Brittany? Is she's been drinking?
Yes. This is why I wish you would watch Curves, because I feel like you would have so much to add to the conversation. But in this past episode, she literally missed the entire, because they're on their cast trip type of thing in Big Bear. She missed an entire day because her stomach was hurting. She was throwing up.
Probably has cirrhosis.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, and Jax was asking the ladies when we first got here, did she have a drink? And then she overheard him, and she, got out the room and cussed him out.
Because she did have a drink. That's the sign of a freaking alcoholic.
Oh, wow. You look how my friends are defending me. You're not a good husband. They're all defending me, but you're not.
So she didn't have a drink.
I think she did have one.
Yeah,
She
and
had
that's
one.
like,
I think she had
if you have
one.
cirrhosis, she'll be vomiting blood if she don't stop.
And he
That's
literally
okay.
said to her,
Okay.
he said to her, quit drinking. You're trying to have another kid like this? Grow up. And
Yeah.
why are you drinking during the week? That's my question.
Yeah, like that's, I don't know what she has going on. I mean, mommy juice is mommy juice.
I'm sorry, but drinking ever since the whole Wendy Williams thing, like I'm scared of alcohol. Like I'm completely
Is
scared.
that how she ended up with Graves' disease?
No, that's not what it caused her Graves' disease, but her dementia is alcohol-induced dementia.
Right. And it's really, yeah.
Well,
But
then
that's actually one of the most manageable forms of dementia, though. I'll give
yeah,
that.
you can totally recover from that.
J-Lo doesn't drink at all.
Well, she might start after they cancel her thing. She was supposed to be getting paid $1 million a show for 90 shows or something. And they're like, lady, we had to lower your ticket price to $65. And then the movie Atlas didn't do good. So
let me tell you, here in Dallas, the cheapest ticket is now $12. 12.
Oh, you're gonna go?
I think I might. If it's that cheap, I might as well go. I mean,
yeah, for
it's
sure.
on a Saturday, so I might as well. But I was shocked because when they first released them, the cheapest one was like $80. So
maybe it's a rebellion since Beyonce's thing and everybody couldn't pay rent.
Yeah.
And
I'm
people
sorry,
just-
but Beyonce did her tour too overpriced. I'm so sorry. It's
Yeah,
just-
that was disgusting.
Yeah, it was.
She's a billionaire. She don't need to be doing all that.
Did y'all hear about that girl who their daughter was supposed to have surgery or something, and she took that money to go buy Beyonce tickets? And
Oh my gosh, no!
Yes, he recorded her and said, "You wasted our money. That we were gonna have surgery on our child to go see Beyonce." It was bad.
Oh
no.
my gosh. Yeah. Priorities. Okay, you guys, I'm going to call it a night, and I will probably talk to you guys tomorrow. The rest of you Curvies, thanks for popping through. I hope you smash my buttons. You know how much I love smashing. Ring my bell so you can get notified. Be sure to follow Manny's TV Talk in these YouTube streets. He has a channel. Sebastian, thanks for coming through. Thank you, Emmanuel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Peace. Oh, yeah. And there's enough to go around, even if it's midnight, so go get some.